Hi everyone, welcome back. This is week 51 of my social isolation get ready with me's. This week I want to do something inspired by my nail polish color. It's going to be hard to see on camera, but it's a yellow. It's starting to look a little bit more chartreuse in the camera, but it's from Holo Taco. Let me see where it is that I have to show you. It's this color by Holo Taco. It's called Lemon Sucker, and it's a yellow green with holographic shimmer in it. And I wanted to do something a little bit like, I want to say like gross colors, but I think you know what I mean, like pukey yellow kind of color. And I was actually kind of struggling in my makeup collection until I sort of came across this, which I think is going to work. It's the ColourPop At Forest Sight. It's the collaboration with RawBeautyKristi. And it's not quite what I'm going for, but I'm going to try to make it work. So I'm going to work with these yellow oranges up here and then work in some of the greens as well. So I've got an idea. Let's hope it works. So I wonder if I can show you the shimmer if it's up close like this. Cover my face. Ooh, will it show you the rainbow? Not really. Well, it's getting darker. Still not what I want to show you exactly, but these nails do reflect a lot of holographic glitter in them. I freaking love these polishes by Holo Taco. You know, it was kind of funny when I was going through my collection, I was looking for those like puke yellow, puke brown colors, and I was like, I really don't have those. It's rare for me to think of an eyeshadow color and then not be able to find it in my makeup collection, but there's definitely a gap in that respect. I was also trying to focus on palettes too, which may be part of the problem. I might have some in one of my singles, but I can't say that puke yellow is generally the color that I look for when I want to buy makeup. So with these videos, I always date the number as the week passed. So when you're watching week 51, it will officially be the 52nd week of social isolation and quarantine and all that stuff. Kinda shocking. I've had a few suggestions that I should do something special for the 52nd look, but I don't know what to do, honestly. Like I could do like cosplay makeup, but even then what would I do? Replicate something I've already done before, which is not that interesting. I don't feel particularly inspired to come up with something new recently. So I'm kind of out of ideas for what I should do for a 52nd week. If you have any, please let me know. Alright, so going into the RawBeautyKristi palette, I'm going to take Puffball first and put that through my crease. Oh, smokes, so pigmented. Good lord, I barely thought I put any on and it's taken over my eye already. There's really no debating ColourPop's pigment. Like, that's just incredible. I've only used this palette once. I got it when it first launched and I used it for that 1 week, for that one look for the week in the Get Ready With Me's. And unfortunately I haven't touched it since, but it's so beautiful. The colors in here are really appealing to me. Which is funny because, you know, when you look at it, it's colorful, but it's not that bright. But there's something probably to do with the layout of the colors, honestly. You can sucker me with pretty much any palette if the colors are laid out really nicely and cohesively. Which is why I tend to hate when an eyeshadow palette just looks like somebody like barfed the colors onto the palette. I'm just like, no. Like, please have some cohesion. Okay, for the lid, I'm going to take Chanterelle here. Sticking with mattes for the lid today. And I think this is going to match my shirt. Yeah, close, but doesn't have enough green in it. Decided to change some of my habits. It's taken a year in quarantine. But I used to do my bi-weekly shop for wine and booze because I'm bored in quarantine and I'd restock for 2 weeks straight and then drink all that amount, and then every 2 weeks I would go back to the liquor store and restock for 2 weeks. And it was fun for a really long time, not gonna lie. You know, I always had wine on hand. It was great to just pop a bottle open whenever I wanted. But after a year of doing that, whatever I wanted, I'm actually bored of drinking. And it's gotten to the point where I'm like, this is just ridiculous. Like, you're literally doing it out of boredom because nothing is happening at home, right? Like, we're just not going out. So I've decided to change my tactic, and instead of going every 2 weeks and buying several bottles of wine, Now the tactic is, if you want to drink something that day, you have to go buy it that day. And honestly, laziness will win out, hands down, in this respect, and I just won't go pick it up. And I think it's probably going to be better for me. Well, it has to be better for me, frankly, because I was just like no self-control with it. So that's my new tactic. It's worked for about 2 weeks now, I think, week and a half. And I'm just going to stick with that because it was just getting out of control. Just literally just drinking out of boredom has not only gotten boring, but it's just like it needs to stop. And at the year mark, I think I've had enough. So that's what I'm changing in terms of that. There's something else I was going to start doing too. I started skipping breakfast. That was it. Part of this is spurred on by the fact that I have gained weight, and I'm very annoyed at myself because I don't feel comfortable, is what it boils down to. And I'm like, okay, what are things you can cut out? Well, number one, alcohol and a meal a day. And I'm worried that I'm going to get some feedback from people saying, well, that's not healthy. Well, in isolation, when we're not going out anywhere, you definitely don't need as many calories as if you were out and about walking everywhere. So skipping breakfast, which fundamentally was really only like 100 to 200 calories because I'd have a smoothie, is not detrimental to me. Because now I'm just eating lunch at 11, dinner at like 5 or 6, and that's it. Of course, I am still occasionally snacking, but that's the next thing I gotta pull my reins in on. I always feel a little bit awkward discussing that kind of stuff on YouTube because I know people are very sensitive to the topic of weight loss and gain and stuff. I just want to make this clear that this is about me, and I don't really care what anybody else out there does, but I need to do things that make me feel better, and this is helping. Okay, moving on. I'm going to take Fiddlehead here, which is this nice, weird, swampy green, and put that on the outer corner. So those are some of my habit changes for me. I'm still exercising. I'm running about once a week, which is not enough, and then doing a Jillian Michaels video twice a week. I want to get back up to like 5 days a week doing something, but 3 is okay for now, especially with these other changes that I'm making. Oh, I suppose I should also say I'm not looking for advice on diet plans or exercise routines. I'm just like telling you what I'm doing. I really don't want any feedback on what I should or should not be doing. Just gonna put that out there because I feel like sometimes when you bring those things up, people want to be helpful, but at the same time it's like, I really just don't care to hear it. And I don't think enough people say that, to be honest. That they're just not interested in hearing other people's opinions on what they personally should be doing. Because what works for one person does not work for everybody else, and also not everybody is always in the same headspace and wants to receive the information that you're putting out. So, just wanted to say that. By all means, tell me what you're doing. I'm always interested in hearing what other people are doing, but I just don't want it directed at me as like, here's what you should be doing kind of thing. Okay, gotta clean up that fallout because I've got plenty down here. There's no bone colored shade in this palette, so I'm just going in again with my Wet n Wild Brulee Single for my brow bone highlight. And then I'm adding wing liner, Physician Formula Eye Booster. Okay, eyes done for now. Let's do the face. Alright, it's been a long time since I've tried the Revlon Candid foundation. I can't remember why I stopped using it. It's entirely possible the shade is wrong, but we're going to give it a shot. So it's the shade 130, which is Ivory. I remember liking the finish on this, but I can't remember what the color actually is. I think that's okay. So I mentioned recently, yeah, that's fine. I mentioned recently that we had finally hired a new person at work, bringing our what should be a 4-person team up to 3, because we've been 2 for quite a while. And I'd mentioned that I hate training people. Like, I just don't like it. Like, they're always like there and like taking over your space because they're sitting over you, and like it's an awkward situation. I don't like training people in the office. However, I've discovered that I'm not that bothered about virtually training somebody. I thought I was going to be miserable, like truly just hating it. And then it turns out it's so much simpler. They're on their own computer in their place. I'm on my own computer in my place. We're sharing screens, and it's just a better overall experience. I'm so shocked. I'm so pleased, but I'm so shocked because I thought this was just going to be absolutely a pain in the butt. And it turns out that I don't mind it. And I actually, not that I love training people, but it's such a better experience than doing it in the office. So I'm really happy about that. I also really like our new person. She asks intelligent questions. She follows up on things. Like, it's just, it feels really good. So I mean, that contributes to it being a good experience too, right? But yeah, I've been really pleased about that. And I think she'll get up to speed relatively quickly. So that'll be nice because my colleague and I, the one who's been on the job for quite a while, are swamped. We are just drowning in work to do. I also always found too that training felt like the time just passed so slowly in person. Now we're doing like hour to 2 hour training sessions every day, and it's like the time just evaporates, and yet we get so much more done. I love it. Okay, I'm a little bit ghostly, but I think the color actually matches pretty good since I'll be adding bronzer and highlighter, or bronzer and blush will be fine. Okay, for bronzer, I'm going in with Ye Old Faithful, Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. I just want to finish it. So yeah, work's been a bit better recently, which is nice. What else have I been doing? Man, not much. The weather's slowly starting to get a little bit warmer here in Toronto, which is a little bit disappointing to me, although most people are happy about it. The snow's all melted now, which makes me sad. It's funny, when March hits, everyone's like, yeah, winter's over. I'm like, no, it's not. But I also grew up in Ottawa, where we would have plenty of snow through March and even April. I've told this story a few times recently, but I remember in Ottawa going skiing either the end of April or early May, which sounds ridiculous, I realize, with snow on the mountains, but because it was relatively close to 0 degrees, we could wear like sweatshirts and stuff like that, and that was just really nice. Spring skiing, so delightful. On that note, I really miss snowboarding. I skied for a long time. My dad was a ski instructor, like I think in his 20s, so he was able to teach us as kids, and I think we learned around the age of, cat hair, around the ages of, I don't know, 1.5 to 2 years old. Like, we were pretty young, I think. But then I skied until like my mid-20s, and by the end of, like, towards the end of my skiing career, I was getting really bored of it. I just found like it was not interesting, not exciting. So then I tried snowboarding, and I fell in love with that. I was so happy with snowboarding. But unfortunately, I didn't get to go last year, like 2019-2020 season, and we definitely didn't go this year, which was 2020-21 season, so I've been missing it quite a bit. I think what was so exciting about it was because, unlike skiing, I wasn't very proficient at snowboarding, so it was something new and exciting to do. And now when I can't do it, I really miss it. I'm not great, mind you, like, I can do all the turns, no problem, but like, I don't have a lot of control. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not bashing into people on my way down the mountain, but unlike skiing, I don't have the same sort of awareness of what I'm doing. Okay, for blush, I'm gonna take this one by Quo. Just took the lid off. This is the shade Rose Water. I wanted something that was gonna give me a little bit of color, but wasn't gonna do too much. This, I forgot about this brush. So this is the MAC 130? No, 109, MAC 109. This thing sheds so badly. I picked this up about, I don't know, 10 years ago now. I actually bought it in LA, which is kind of funny. But I remember like putting my blush on and just leaving like black hairs from the brush all over my face. I don't think it sheds as badly now, but there we go. There we go. It still does it. What the hell? This wasn't cheap either. Okay, and for highlighter, I wanted something in that weird yellow-green category, so I pulled out my ABH Aurora Glow Kit, and I want to go in with this shade right here called Helia. And that's the face done, so let's zoom you back in for the rest of the eyes. Okay, so for the eyes, what I wanted to do was apply a lot of the greens, and I realized I don't really have like a dark green eyeliner for the waterline, so I'm just going to use black. This is the Tarte Sex Kitten liner. I love this thing because it's so smooth. I'm just going to line my waterline. Get it between the lashes. Then I'm taking my pencil brush in the shade Fiddlehead and just smudging that. Okay, for the inner corner of the eye, I'm going to take two things. I'm going to start with Evergreen here and put that in there. And then on top of that, I'm going to take a glitter. I'm going to use the Lit Cosmetics Ziggy Stardust glitter, which is really pretty. Oh, look how bright that is. For this, I'm just using my Too Faced glitter glue. Put that on the back of my hand. Just a little bit. I always overdo it. Take a flat synthetic brush and draw over top of the color I put in the inner corner. And I always let this go a little bit tacky, so I'll do both sides first before I go in with the glitter. Buff time if you want it! Zulgurb anyway. Then I'll take my glitter using the same brush, and I'm just going to put that on top of the glitter glue. Oh good, I wanted some of the green to show through on this because I really like this color, but it's a little bit too yellow. So put that green base down. And then this has got that tinge of green to it, which is exactly what I wanted. And I'm putting a lot of glitter because that's what I like. Alright, so that's eyes done. I'm just gonna, well, the eyeshadows and all that stuff. I'm gonna put my fake lashes on, which honestly I've fallen so in love with these. I thought they were just too big when I initially got them, and now I think they're gorgeous. It's the Tarte, that is so hard to see, the Go-To lashes. They're really beautiful when you're taking pictures. Oh, hello, focus. So yeah, doing that for lashes, my mascara, put my brows on, and then I will be right back. Okay, eyes are done completely now. For lips, wasn't sure what I was going to do, but we're going to give this a shot. So I've got Maybelline Matte Ink. Remember these? Still amazing. This is the shade Driver. And I'm going to top it with something too, but let's put this color on first. Okay, that's the base lip color on, and then I want to try adding this lipstick from MAC that I've had for quite a while. Never really had a reason to use it. It's called Liquid Lurex, and it was out for that bowling collection? I can't remember the exact name of it, but it's this weird sort of like yellowy green type color. It's mostly going to come across as shimmer from what I remember. Let's see here. Yeah, it's this weird reflective color. I'm hoping it looks neat on top of this. Ooh, okay, that's kind of fun. I mean, it's basically just like a shimmer lipstick. I probably could have put a little bit less on, but I wanted something a little bit different. And, you know, it is different. I keep trying to slink down so you can get the top of my hair in frame. Otherwise, I'd be like up here and then I just look like an egghead. Okay, so that's the finished look. Different for me, something fun to play with. I'm glad I was inspired by this nail polish color because this is not something I would normally put together for sure. And I do really like the palette. Where the heck did I put it? Over here. This one, I hope it's still available. It's called At Forest Sight. It's with RawBeautyKristi, who is a YouTuber, and the quality is fantastic. And like I've said before, the colors in here are just really nice. They're different to me. I like how this look came out, especially with the glitter. The glitter makes everything better, right? So I'm gonna end it there for week 51. Thanks for joining me. Take care, stay safe, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Bye.